You're listening to World of Empowerment Radio, your station for practical spirituality in a changing world. And here are your hosts, Aingeal Rose and Ahonu.
This is Ahonu following up on the journey that Aingeal Rose had me go on that caused me consternation for a few days. It was a journey into exploring other aspects of ourselves. And I found that I didn't want to find all of myself at the one time. She did want to see everybody, but I felt I could only manage one aspect of myself at a time. So when I went into that quantum space, I found that there was a part of me that needed healing. Actually, it was very scared. It was hiding in a forest, and it had the guilt around it that it had actually murdered me in another lifetime. And I came back out of there and closed the door behind me, and a number of different things happened then over the following 2 days. And I went into a serious depression because I felt guilty about having left that aspect of myself there. And the question kept coming up in my mind, did I just deny a part of myself? Did I leave a part of myself in the unknown? And the whole idea was to forgive it, but it felt as if it was unfinished. There was unfinished business. And I went around for 2 days wondering, did I bring a negative part of me into this world? And that's why I'm feeling depressed and sad and anxious and worried and uncertain. Because my physical body was actually shaking at times. I felt so nervous and so uncertain. And it was almost like palpitations of my heart, but it was like all over. There was like a nervousness, a shake that would happen from time to time. Or if I was holding something, I felt like an old man that would have the shivers. You know, when an old man is trying to hold a piece of paper and you can see the paper shaking. That was the kind of sensation that I felt in myself, and I knew it wasn't right. There's something not right. And I felt that I had to go back in to fix it. But what to do? I didn't know how to fix it. I had no guidance or advice or knowledge of what to do. So I'd heard about walking meditations, and there's a beautiful walk where we are along a canal walk. I think it's about 2 or 2.5 kilometers. And I set off doing a walking meditation, and my intention was that I would find the guidance to know what to do about this situation and this aspect of myself. And the first thing that came to me was the great Babaji said, you have to go back in there, but you must go in knowing that nothing can violate love. If you are so full of love going in there, there is absolutely no danger of anything happening to you or to any other part. Now, here was the thing. Because I was walking by the canal works on the basis that it usually flows from high ground all the way to the ocean, which is usually at a lower level. So you have all these locks along the way. And if anybody knows how a lock works, it's like where the water is allowed to flow into a divided area until it comes level with the other side. And then a barge or a boat goes in, and then it is lowered down into the other side. Or going the opposite direction, the water is allowed in and raises it up to the new level, and then it sails out into the higher level water. Well, this image hit me. Babaji said, look around you, the answer is everywhere, but the answer is right here. Because you were looking at this relationship of mine in the other dimension as being either more than or less than yourself. Or look at it the other way around, that you were less than or more than that. So there was an inequality there, and that's why you felt the danger. You felt you might be compromised or hurt or injured, or something might be taken from you. And it's because there was an inequality there. Now, I was to go into this dimensional space knowing that I had the higher potential of pure love with me that couldn't be compromised or damaged. And if I was bringing that into the other dimensional space, all that was required was that this other aspect of myself would come up to the level of pure love, just like the water in a loch. And when the water levels are level, then nobody is in any danger of anything, because they're level, and they're level with pure love. There's pure love on one side and pure love on the other side. So therefore, there's actually no need for a quantum doorway at all, because love will flow across this equally back and forth with no division, no separation. So I walked along that canal and I found myself worrying again. Did I have that capacity of love to be able to bring it into that situation? And I found that I did. I asked the question before I went, is this the right thing to do? Am I to go in and level the waters, as it were, and leave the door open on the way back? And the answer is yes, absolutely yes. So I went in with that intention, and boy, was I met with joy. Was I met with the most exhilarating joy that I haven't felt in a long time. It was like this aspect of myself came running home. It came home knowing that it wasn't going to be rejected. It came home knowing that it was equal, that there was only love. There was no criticism. There was no negativity. There was no danger of being hurt. There was no danger of being rejected or lost ever again. It was the most joyful feeling of all. But it was an interesting sensation, because it's like as if it was happening on both sides of the dimensional split, as it were, at the same time. In other words, I felt the same joy going to this other aspect of myself, knowing that I was being completely forgiven also. I knew that there was no danger of being hurt. I knew there was no danger of rejection. I knew that this was a beautiful, equal, soaring, joyful reunion. And all there was just pure love. So on the way back, and I say back in all meanings of the word, because I was coming back from the canal and I was coming back from this walking meditation. And I knew when I looked behind me, there was no doors. There was no division. There was no separation. I felt a total reconciliation, a total forgiveness between me and this aspect in me of myself. And then just before I finally got home, literally speaking, in the front door of my home, the question came up: am I to do the same thing with any other aspects of myself that may be out there in pain, suffering under this illusion of separation? And the clear answer from the great Babaji was absolutely yes. And I had a sense of, oh my God, I have to do this right now. And Babaji said, there is no such thing as time. When you do it, it'll be done. And don't worry, because any kind of pressure like that is just of the perception of the mind. The intention is all that's required. So I will do that. I'm in such a space now where it's hard to put words on it. It's just a beautiful, serene, calm, safe place. And it's bubbling with effervescent joy. And I'd love to be able to share that with everybody.
You have been listening to Aingeal Rose and Ahonu on World of Empowerment Radio, your station for practical spirituality in a changing world.